Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, definitely don't have enough room in here. Let me scoot that forward. Can y'all still see a little bit? All right, I'm seeing how things are working out with the setup. I know my camera's definitely tilted right now, but I am not mad at it enough to change it yet. Yes, I am. Okay. Well then, let me move this lighting out of the way. Oh Lord. I thought it was okay. Hopefully that sticks for us. Hello and welcome to Kai Chi Alchemy. You can call me Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos today. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thanks for those likes, comments, shares, and subscribes as they help me to expand my reach and help more people. I appreciate y'all showing up to co-create community with me. This is going to be a collective message. It will not resonate with everybody, so please really tune in to your own intuition and your own discernment to determine whether all or part of this message applies to you particularly. Today's going to be a Sagittarius collective message that could apply to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, or really any other placement for that matter. You might not even have any Sagittarius placements and you're just focusing on those sorts of themes right now. And my puppy may or may not come in at some point. She's not ready yet, but she might join us later. Stick around and see. All right, so in the vein of really tuning into your own intuition and your own discernment, I'm gonna have everybody take a deep breath with me and hold it at the top a little bit if you're comfortable with that. Just to connect in with your heart space and the present moment and your body and your breath. Thanks for doing that with me today. I've got Rar out here. This is my little zombie friend, my little symbol of the subconscious. He's been hanging out with me on my altar lately, but I'm gonna make some space here so that we can really focus in on this message a little more deeply. Yeah, let's do that. And then that should be enough space there. I don't have a lighter. How silly. Oh, here we go. It's a Sagittarius one and everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and light this candle since it is the most accessible at the moment, and I don't have my barbecue lighter or incense access. And then I'm gonna clear the space just for a moment with this Palo Santo that I was graciously gifted by my friend Ellen recently. If you have sensitivities to sound, please turn your speakers on mute here. All right. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. I know it's been a minute. This one's been a little bit of a challenge, as most things seem to have been for most people in most ways in general lately. So I am sending you peace and grit and love. Oh, by the way, I've been thinking of, you know, calling the collective here lovers. Kind of goes with the Katchi theme. And for me, really, a lover is somebody who is so integrated and in union within themselves, within the disparate aspects of themselves, that they're able to show up fully as a sovereign adult individual, and they're able to offer true unconditional love to the people around them, whether that's friends, family, romantically, whatever, because they have taken the time and put in the effort to really integrate those things that they might be seeking out in another person, right? So that's really what it's about here for me, is developing a lot of strength and independence in service of the greater whole. I've been getting a lot of this feeling lately of the solution to boys clubs is not girls clubs. Like, we don't need to be reacting to people trying to partner together in order to siphon control away from where it naturally belongs. And that's like a brotherhood, fraternities, sororities, they're brotherhood, sisterhoods of individuals who have their own goals and their own motivations, but they know that if they work together to support one another in those individual goals and motivations, that they can go farther. So it's not really like a community mindset. It's more like, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. And that's very much not the energy of the kind of community that I'm looking to create. It's very much the kind of energy of the community that we see in all of these, you know, culty, problematic environments all around. So let me pull out my notes here, because I did get some things. I think I'm going to call today, we win some, we sin some. And that will become clear as we move on, but many of you may know that to sin is to miss the mark, kind of like an archery metaphor. And Sagittarius is the archer. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's kind of like a flaming arrow. Oh, this was very strong. I felt this come through a few days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. Yeah. And it was just like a real grounded, steady voice, like confident voice that just said, I thought that you were deep and brave and interesting, and I was wrong. So that may pertain to your situation. I'm not usually a very gossip hour kind of reader, but I think I'm gonna get some traditional tarot and see if we can get some details on this juicy tea. Okay, I got Mamma Mia a lot for months, and like the Mia part was like all uppercase. It was like could be like you're yelling, like it's kind of the inflection of the way people say that, but also it could be an acronym, like missing in action, right? So there's like this energy of where is the mother, where's the support, like where is the love, where... Sasha, if you don't stop barking, I'm gonna have to take you inside. Okay. Hey, baby girl, come inside, please. Thank you. Maybe you can lay down. You can chill out. If you lay down, you can hang out with us. You can go in the living room if you want to. Okay. Hi, mamas. I'm busy right now, okay? I'll be done soon. Bye. Yeah, so mama missing in action. I also got this, okay, a flaming arrow. It's like, you're the fire, you're the flaming arrow, right? It reminds me of the Khalil Gibran quote. I can't remember word for word right now. But something about our children are not, they don't come from us. They're born through us. Like, they're not our possessions. And in that quote, he's talking about the child being an arrow and the mother being a bow, something like that, kind of. And I got this feeling in my chest before the words, and it was just like, no, mommy, wait, like, come with me. And it's like you're getting catapulted in this direction. It's like for a brief moment in time, you were in the same place and time and space and energy as somebody else. Like, that was like the height of where they had gotten with that energy, and you were just getting started, and then you tried to hold on and hold on and hold on to the bow, and you didn't want to get shot forward. You're like, I don't really mind getting shot forward, but why do I have to go by myself? Come with me. So it might be literally a mother. It might just be some sort of love and support and some kind of connection you had, family, friends, maybe even like business, if it was like a real soul tribe, like passion project kind of thing. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of passion in here. And that was a really strong emotion, so I feel like that's gonna be relevant. And then I got that dying cartoon fire ember from Howl's Moving Castle, if you know what I'm talking about. I had to look this up just to make sure I was remembering it right, and it said that the little fire cartoon in Howl's Moving Castle, his name is Calcifer. And I thought that was really interesting. So like Lucifer is light cipher. And I didn't really know what cipher meant, so I had to look into that. And it was very interesting because it says cipher is a secret code or a person of no importance. A symbol for zero, or a Arabic numeral in secret writings. So cipher was a word originally for zero, right? And also for a person of no importance, as in he was a political cipher used by the other leaders for their own gain, like a puppet, like a person that's to be used, a person of no value, other than the value that comes through somebody else. So it's like Lucifer is like the light, of no importance, the light of a person of no importance. It's like saying, I have all this power and I have all this light, but I have all this power and I have all this light, but I still don't believe that I'm worth it. I'm still not really truly confident of that. So I have to be like aggressive. I have to push the point. I have to defend myself, basically. That's like the Lucifer energy. And Calcifer is, cal means heat or warmth, right? Like, oh, I'm interested what calculator etymology is now. Yeah, anyways, cal means warmth or heat, a degree of warmth or heat. Cipher means a secret code or a person of no importance. So it's like something secret, something treasured, something sacred. It's like the heat and the warmth inside of you. It's like offering your warmth to a person of no importance. Or there's some kind of secret code in the way you interact with yourself or somebody else as a person who's, you know, seen as a cipher. Well, and okay, so 0 is the number of the Fool card, and the Fool card is extremely powerful. 0 is extremely powerful. So people that only live in this like linear mindset, 0 doesn't mean anything. 0 isn't valuable. It's abstract, right? But it's extremely powerful, kind of like a baby. Like, people think of adults as more important and more powerful and more whatever, but they're not. If anything, children are more important and more aligned and more like integrated, connected to spirit, connected to nature, connected to themselves, connected to our ancestors. Like, they have so much more to offer us, but it's hard for an adult brain to understand that, like from that super logical linear place when they're not so connected to spirit. Okay, so it's like you are the 0, you are the pure potential, you are the arrow getting shot out, right? You're the engine of the house. I remember, like, the ember was dying. Calcifer was dying. He was going out. And if you didn't pay attention to him and feed him, if he got small enough, he would just poof. And then I'm pretty sure he powered the house. And so it wouldn't be able to move anymore. So if you wanted to keep this house moving, you had to take this little... the light, the warmth that you don't value, that you're not paying attention to, your shadows. You have to pay attention to your shadows and your inner child and feed it and nurture it and interact with it and grow it, because that is the fire, that is the engine, that is the coal power, that is the energy that moves your house, like your life, your home, your projects and your career and like your adult stuff. That gets moved forward from the passion and the life force, and the warmth and love of your inner child. And so if you let that go out, then you're not going to be able to forge ahead in a practical sense, even to take care of other people. So if you really want to help other people, you have to focus first on feeding that fire. And I also got this sense of like, maybe there were other people that were neglecting that fire in your life, and you just thought, well, if I just give them some more heat, then they'll notice that and they'll remember, like, oh, look, you're going out, let me help you, and then we can like go back and forth, and I can warm you up and you can feed me some firewood, and we can keep going like that. But it's like Calcifer was shriveling and dying, and so giving off more heat and more heat and more heat, and it wasn't really being noticed, and nobody was giving him firewood. I don't remember how much this is accurate to the movie. I'll have to watch it again. Maybe that would be good for you to get some sort of confirmation or symbols. But yeah, he was dying, and I get the sense that that's symbolic for you. Like, your fire that you use to generate all of the love and the generosity and everything that you want to give out to people, you almost let it go out. And so now it's like really important to continue developing that discernment of who's actually going to reciprocate and who's actually going to put that firewood where it needs to go, because otherwise your engine dies and your house doesn't go anywhere, and you can't help yourself and you can't help anybody else. I also got that song, it's the Flaming Lips. I think it's on Yoshime Battles the Pink Robots or something, somewhere in that time period. I was hearing, do you realize that everyone you know someday will die? And instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun don't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning round. I don't think that there's a lot of lyrics in that song. That might be most of them. But I also remember there's like, do you realize you have the most beautiful face? And do you realize that we're floating in space? Okay, so you're small, but you're valuable and significant and important, and it's important for you to pay attention to that. But also, the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning. And I think that connected in with we win some, we sin some. Because you can put your best foot forward and you can give 100% to something and it can still go wrong. And even though you realize you have to separate yourself from some people, places, and things you may have some attachment to that you may think of as good things, but for whatever reason realize you have to let go of it, that doesn't diminish its value, it doesn't diminish your love, it doesn't diminish their love, it doesn't diminish anything. It's just time moving on, things moving around, casting shadows. It's just an illusion. And one day, like, the sun's still there, and one day you guys will be together again. Whether it's in this life, in this reality, due to some kind of shifts, that take place, but that's not really in your hands at this point. Or in another dimension, in another reality, in another life, we always come back around. Like everything you do is a circle. Wherever you're at, you'll be back here again. It's just kind of a matter of how much time in between, right? Okay. I'm not going to get too much more into that because I could go forever. Let me see if I can get this, what's it called? This meme that I had on my notes downloaded. It's not coming up for some reason. Maybe I'll put it in the community tab, and y'all can see that there. Yep. All right, I think that that's about it for that for right now. I'm gonna pull some cards. I think I'm gonna start with this Moonology card. Right now is, basically right now is the full moon in Aries. And so, there is a lot of energy around that. Obviously, let's see, that's the Aries Libra axis. It's all about self and other, about relationships and independence, and like, you can be too codependent on the Libra side of things. You can be too independent on the Aries side of things. So whenever we have an Aries full moon, that could be about releasing our need to always be right, to always make things happen the way we expect them to. And just kind of surrendering into the fact that we can only give our 100% and things are gonna go not according to plan in life, okay? So since right now is the full moon, I'm gonna pull a Moonology card and see what kind of energy is floating around in this Sagittarius collective today in regards to this storyline. What was it? I thought that you were deep and brave and interesting, and I was wrong. I'm drinking some Shilajit infused water right now. That's made out of the ground. It's ancient soil, basically. So maybe something about grounding, like you're a fire sign, so going more from fire into earth and water. The music that I am listening to right now has some nature imagery placed behind it, and there was moss. Moss is so earth and water. And it's like even cooler than grass and trees and stuff as far as producing oxygen for us and cleaning the air, and there's not a lot of it left. We need more forests. I love forests and I love moss. Maybe you need to get into a forest with some moss. Or if you don't have access to that, maybe you need some sea moss. That's watery. Okay, let's see. Yeah, ground, hydrate, mineralize. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Right now is the full moon in Aries, and I'm doing a reading on Sagittarius energy, and I pulled full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Okay, let's see what else we have going on with that. On the bottom of the deck, it says, hold your vision, fixed moon. Okay, so remember what is important to you. What is your highest priority? Where are you going with all of this at the end of the day? And hold your focus on that there, okay? I'm also going to pull one of these Sacred Sites Oracle cards because I haven't done so in a long time. And I'm feeling called to. And this is a very Sagittarius deck. Let's see, by Barbara Micklejohn Free. Hope I didn't butcher that. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your wisdom. Please allow me to channel for the collective right now. For the Sagittarius collective I'm speaking to. What sacred site they would benefit from connecting with at this time. On the bottom of the deck, we have Giza. Let me know if you want me to put the camera a little bit closer next time. I might do that. We'll see. Okay, so ancient Egypt, there might be something in there about that. There's a lot of sun imagery here. I've been channeling a lot about the Ankh lately, although I don't have a lot of like history or like deep understanding of it from a cerebral kind of place. And then the card that came out was Glastonbury. That's interesting because I've gotten this card so many times, more than everything else in here. And I'm wondering whether this is the right energy or not. But let's see, let's just give it a chance. So I'm gonna pull up in the guidebook really quick. Glastonbury. We have, that's interesting. We have like an ancient Egypt and an ancient Europe. I know, what was that scratching noise? You gonna go investigate? Thank you. Glastonbury, England, 48. Okay, so you may or may not have some Egyptian or African roots, or maybe even like Middle Eastern. Geography is so dumb and weird. Or you may have some sort of connection to England or Europe, or peoples that came through Europe at some point in time. Energy focus blossoming, location, Somerset, England. Okay, the lower world, the past. For hundreds of years, Avalon, the Isle of Enchantment, has been identified with Glastonbury, named after the demigod Avalok, ruler of the underworld. Avalon was the place from which the dead embarked for the other world. Contemplate the Grail Maiden now, as she offers you a cup of holy water, inviting you to take a sip and connect with your inner divine feminine. The Grail was originally sacred to goddess worship, but became entwined with the story of Christ's Last Supper. Joseph of Arimathea, who assisted at Christ's burial, brought such a vessel here, filled with Christ's blood, and buried it at the entrance to the underworld. If you struggled in youth against attempts to educate and culturally condition you, you may benefit from the natural earth powers of this site, which can allow you to absorb information in a different way. It is time to reawaken your gifts of psychic wisdom and harness them to gain better understanding. Start with the scrying ritual opposite. Okay, so we'll get into that scrying ritual, but just real quick, we were talking about grounding into earth and water, grounding into that like mossy energy. And that's really interesting here too, that they're talking about the like this chalice of Christ's blood. Blood is a really interesting symbol for me because blood, that's what Kai Chi Alchemy is all about. Kai is the ocean. Kai is the ocean of fluid, of the waters that run in your veins. That's what Kai is the waters that run throughout the universe, but like that run through you. And Chi is the energy that runs through you. the signalers in your hormonal system, like the chemical constituents that change your experience of the world and are carried through the waters, the energy, the action, the inertia, the momentum, the karma that moves through those waters, and taking the power of the blood and using that to alchemize our physical reality from one form into another one through the power of our consciousness, through the power of our bodies. And so that's a really interesting symbol of you needing to ground down and really connect into your inner divine feminine, your inner waters, your inner fire, the blood. Connect with your blood. And so, yeah, this definitely may have something to do with your bloodlines. This may have something to do with, well, I mean, the connection between Giza and Glastonbury, as far as bloodlines go, as far as I know, is kind of that story of Christ moving around India and Egypt and places where there were deep traditions of wisdom and alchemy, where he studied, and these people were very connected. So like the rabbi and the priests and the people who belong to no nation, that belong to the nation of God, that belong to the image nation, who are people of wisdom. And that's what the rabbi are people of wisdom. It doesn't matter really your physical bloodline. It's like a spiritual bloodline. That's like a frequency that you carry in your veins that you can channel into, or maybe you were born with more of a connection to it. Hey, are you whining for something that I can help you with, sweet girl? No? You let me know. Okay. Middle world, present. Right, okay. So the Rabi are kind of connected in with the Celts and some of those like European savages that the Romans went after, right? Yeah. I think it's really important to take all of the wisdom that we have from archaeology and from written history, combine that with our intuition, with our common sense, with our powers of deduction and analyzing, and also our power to divinate, and to balance all of those elements. This is such a cool deck because it's all about time in the past and present and future and how we move through. But sometimes as we move through time, we also move through space. So you might be in a new space. You might be in a new home. 3838 on the clock. The Celtic name of the Tor, the great hill of Glastonbury, was Ynys Wyttrin, meaning Isle of Glass. Glass, silica, electrical conductivity. Okay, sorry. And it was said that Gwyn ap Nudd, the fairy folk's god of the dead, seen on this card as an owl, lived in a glass castle within the hill. I don't remember what the glass houses metaphor is, but there may be something in there for you about that. I apologize for any of the construction you may be able to hear. I'm actually going to close the door just in case that helps with the sound a little bit. Yeah, that should help. All right, here we got and it was said that Gwyn ap Nudd, the fairy folk's god of the dead, seen on this card as an owl, lived in a glass castle within the hill. Many legends are associated with Glastonbury, such as those of Joseph of Arimathea, who is said to have brought his young nephew, Jesus Christ, here. At Glastonbury, he planted his staff, which grew into the holy thorn, whose flowering represented the birth of Christianity in Britain. Joseph is also credited with founding Glastonbury Abbey, where King Arthur and Queen Guinevere are said to be buried. One day, Arthur will awaken to defend us. What aspects in your life need awakening right now? That's very interesting. So, Arthur coming back to defend us, a lot like Christ coming back to defend us, a lot like very, very many myths and legends about a great, powerful individual who was connected to the cosmos, who carried supernatural powers, who moved on and was expected to rise again in the future. I always get from these stories that they are expected to rise again, so we look for a savior. But actually, if that's what happened, they wouldn't be helping us. They would be externalizing our faith, our works. Like, we would just wait around for somebody to do what needs to be done. And so in the waiting, we have to come to terms with the fact that we are the ones that we've been waiting for, and that is how these energies are reborn. This Christ energy, this Arthur energy. So in this moment, in the present moment, what aspects in your life need awakening right now? And I would imagine that this scrying ritual may assist in that. We also have upper world potential. The tower on the tour is all that remains of a church named for Michael, the mighty archangel who battles confusion. A carving on this tower honors the goddess Bridget in the form of Saint Bridget. The tower marks the point where the ley lines of Michael and Bridget intersect, the heart chakra of the world. The zodiac ring on the card refers to the huge map of the stars embedded in the Glastonbury landscape, said to allow communication with the heavens. With great patience, with great practice, maybe you need to develop some patience. With great practice, teleportation is possible. Try it. Imagine traveling through the mists of Avalon, from the Chalice Hill to the Tor, then rising up to the planets. In the upper world, antlers instilled the male energy of the god of the forest, the Green Man, whose protection balances the female energy of the lower world's Grail Maiden. Glastonbury is the point where the powers of Michael and Bridget, of the Green Man and the Grail Maiden, of the divine masculine and the divine feminine meld together, offering knowledge to blossom into the flowers and fruits of understanding and wisdom. That's some beautiful flowery language there. But yeah, exactly. So connecting your inner and outer worlds, connecting your inner fire and magic, and it's like bringing your blood, bringing your life force out into the world in a really grounded way, in a way that is very much yours, in a way where you are very much authentically putting out what you are guided and inspired to put out, without any thought as to other people's like desires and expectations and stuff, because you have a mission and a purpose that you need to go fulfill and not be distracted by other people's needs and desires and things. And in doing that, you'll create the most value in the world, and then you will attract the people that need that particular value. And that'll be more efficient and effective and lovely for everybody involved. So here is the ritual associated with this Glastonbury card we have here. I'll put that right there. Scrying ritual to connect with Avalon. Many are the ways to connect with Avalon. Prepare for this scrying ritual by watching a movie about King Arthur, Merlin, and Morgan Le Fay, or by reading Geoffrey Monmouth's work. You may wish to dress in flowing robes or a cloak and walk through nature at dusk. When you are ready to begin the scrying, put on some medieval music or some Arthurian-inspired contemporary music and pray over a bowl of water. Take a beautiful goblet or glass and fill it with the prayed over water, then gaze into it as you awaken your scrying skills. What do you see? Avalon is calling you. Let ancient memories of that time stir within you and give you glimpses of who you really are. Alright, well, if you feel inspired to do any of that, go ahead and go to my community tab. I do have a song in a kind of medieval style. I think it's Hips Don't Lie by Britney Spears, Shakira, my bad. Oh, so sorry, Shakira. And that might get your YouTube algorithm going on a little bit of medieval direction, but also might meld with things you're interested in and things that speak to you. And the internet's so interesting, definitely a double-edged sword. So you got some music, you get some water, you find a very nice goblet or glass, and when you pray over this water, this is the blessing where you turn the water into blood, where you turn the water into something more charged with potential. Water is very neutral. It's a conduit. It's memory. So take some water, it's kind of like the hardware, and install new software in it through the power of your prayer. If you want to ask to be shown things, if you want to ask to feel and know and be shown things, you know, energetically, internally, visually, your sense of smell, touch, taste, just tuning into the present moment, tuning into your senses, and seeing what you pick up off of this water after you instill it with your intentions. And in that way, you can turn that water into a teacher, you can turn that water into a tool, you can turn that water into that support, into that mother energy. You've been flung away from some kind of support, some kind of security, some kind of identity, some kind of community, some kind of group, some kind of relationship, because it is your mission in this life at this time to learn how to develop your own support internally so that you can be an even greater force. This is an initiation. This is a fire that you go through to turn you into this Queen of Cups, into this mother archetype. Whether or not you have physical children, it's more about the energy of creation, of nurturing, of connection. So that will come together. All right. Excuse me for just one moment. Nature calls. I pulled some animal cards before I started today. I got the frog, the lion, the turtle, the sea serpent, the scorpion, the bat. Those may be of some significance to you here. Today I'm going to pull from the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck here. Get a little bit more Palo Santo going over these cards. I feel like they could use a little refresh. I was bringing up the Biojit, the Shilajit thing earlier partially because I felt like it was relevant to grounding, to earth, water, and fire energy, but also I would love to know if you are drinking anything right now, enjoying anything at the moment. Let me know down in the comments if you feel like it. This is the artwork for the Topo Chico bottle from 1943. That's 7, which is, oh wow, what, the Chariot? Chariot's very arrow and bow vibe. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, thank you for your guidance, thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your support. Thank you. Okay, so for this anchor energy, I have the Ace of Pentacles, can I please get a card for the recent past on this storyline of this person of, I thought that you were deep and brave and interesting, and I was wrong. The recent past? And the present moment? I thought that you were deep and brave and interesting, and I was wrong. That was that way. Okay. In the recent past, we have the 6 of Wands covered up by the 4 of Cups. So that is like, you were feeling victorious, or you were victorious, but you were victorious in something that you felt unsatisfied with, and you didn't realize that you were being offered what you wanted because you were focused on your dissatisfaction. Or this may be the person that we're talking about, that you're dealing with. In the present position, we have the Emperor, kind of reestablishing yourself, your confidence, right? Your stability, your grounding. Maybe focusing on your home and your finances and your body. And in the near future, I have the 5 of Pentacles reversed, that's the card of being left out in the cold, but in reverse, it's kind of like the sun comes back out, right? So can I get a clarifier on the recent past about this person? The collective thought was deep and brave and interesting. Could I get a clarifier on the 6 of Wands covered up by the 4 of Cups, please? Ace of Wands. Okay, so that may indicate that it had something to do with like more of a sexual relationship or romantic storyline here, or perhaps career, or like something to do with money. Oh. And then I have Queen of Wands in the current position with the Emperor, clarifying the Emperor. So this is like balancing masculine and feminine energies. It's the Queen of Wands. So you're the fire element. You may be a feminine or identify with more of a feminine energy. Or yeah, you might just be rebalancing your own masculine and feminine energies. In the Emperor card, there's the rams on the throne that he sits on. So that's very Aries energy. And then the Queen of Wands has a sunflower, and that's very Sagittarius. I think there's also lions on her throne. Might have something to do with Leo. There may be a Leo or an Aries in your past having to do with money or sex that this storyline has to do with. Currently you're focusing more on the present moment, on what you can control, on what you're grateful for, that sunflower energy, that lion energy, building your confidence, building your worldview, like your consistency and seeking out things to be grateful for. Yeah. We have feminine fire, we have balanced masculine. Feminine fire, that's like your blood. And your Emperor is kind of like the structure that blood flows through, right? He's the earth energy, and the Queen of Wands is the water and the fire energy. So right now you're focusing on strengthening your body and cleansing your blood. Or if you're not, you would do well to focus on those things right now. Can I please get a clarifier for 5 of Pentacles in reverse? Thank you. Oh, that was a lot. Let's see. We have 7 of Swords and 7 of Pentacles. Okay, 7, 7. You might be seeing 7, 7, 7s. This is Earth and Air, so that's the bottom and the top. That is Freya and Folly. That is, okay, 7 of Swords is about manipulation, deception, sneaking around, so sneaky energy, achieve things at all costs energy. And the 7 of Pentacles as somebody looking at the work that they've been doing and kind of waiting for something to come up, waiting to see. Okay, so I'm getting that somebody is looking to see how things play out. They set up a bunch of dominoes and now they're watching them fall to see if it plays out the way that they expected it to. Okay, so that's the 7 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles under the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Your sun is going to come out in the near future. This person, this romantic or financial tie that you have, they set up a bunch of dominoes to manipulate, to dominate, to try and control a situation, and they're watching to see how their works, how their words, how the dominoes that they set up are going to play out in the physical world around them. So they're watching in the near future. They're just sitting back and watching their moves play out. And this is you, the Four of Swords. You are laying in this coffin in this church with this like beautiful mosaic. It's like dim light coming in through the windows. And you're just waiting, you're sitting, you're watching. I mean, your eyes are closed in this card, so you may not even be looking at this person or this place or this situation. You may be really doing your own thing, resting, focusing on recuperating, recovering. I would imagine that your nervous system and your hormones were deeply impacted by the stress and the confusion, right? We have St. Michael energy coming in here to clear the confusion, to move that mental fog out and away so that you can move forward and so that you can stoke your fire and serve your purpose. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So in the recent past, your victory was overshadowed by some kind of deeply painful, triggering, hot, itchy, problematic Ace of Wands energy. But that Ace of Wands energy is, think of a fire, right? Ace of Wands, and then Ace of Pentacles. Think of throwing dirt on the fire. Right? You're putting out the fire, you're cooling everything down. And that's the Ace of Pentacles energy. That Ace of Pentacles energy is coming in through this Mother and Father, through this Emperor and this Queen of Wands, through this structure and stability that you are committing to and creating for yourself, and through this life force energy that you're channeling and processing and moving through your veins. And in the near future, you will see this turnaround of feeling like a spiritual orphan as this person, place, or situation unfolds. You focus on your peace, you focus on your health and your happiness and your rest and your relaxation. And basically they'll just realize that they messed up and they tried to play a game that you weren't trying to play, or the game they were trying to play doesn't work that way, or they just plain didn't do what they were trying to do the way that they meant to or hoped to, or one way or another it's gonna fail. We have King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, so that's just like, yes, confirmation. Sit tight. Just sit tight. Well, that's not always the most satisfying message. I know people don't always want to hear that, but let me get a little clarification with the Herbal Tarot, and then I might pull a biblical card. But we're already over an hour mark here, so can I get a clarification on this recent past energy? Yeah? Okay, so I have 7 of Cups and I have 4 of Swords. Juniper berries or mullein might be significant. Your immune system or your lungs might be significant. Water or air might be significant. 7s or 4s or even 11s might be significant. Chariot or Emperor energy may be relevant. Dragons. Jewels. Castles. We were talking about castles earlier. wreaths, the holidays, masks, wearing masks. Okay. And then he's resting on a rock here. Between a rock and a hard place. Okay, so the rock is the Four of Swords. But in this position, it's kind of like a despondency, a depression energy. And the Seven of Cups, a hard place. Between a rock and a hard place. Four of Swords, rock, hard place. Seven of Cups. So that is lots of options, opportunities, illusions, confusion, and anxiety, really, could be. Because a lack of control, a lack of knowing something for sure, things being very ethereal and confusing. And so, really this is just giving me the energy of whoever you were dealing with in the past really triggered a lot of struggles of anxiety and depression, and like you were really just in one of those or the other at any given time. Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck, just more confirmation of this Queen of Cups motherly energy, this life force energy, this mother baby energy. I'm getting Empress also. There's a lot of yellow on the table. A lot. A lot of yellow, a lot of pentacles. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your insight. In the present position, I have a clarifier of the Nine of Swords. Could I get another one, please? Because there's a couple ways that could go. I mean, in this deck, it's Valerian. Oops. In this deck, Nine of Swords is Valerian. And that is like a really extreme calming herb. Will knock you out. People like take it if they have extreme insomnia. We have Nine of Cups and Ten of Swords. Okay. There's a couple ways this could go. These ones are kind of lesser known herbs. Nine of Cups is squaw vine, which I know has something to do with reproductive health generally. And then Ten of Swords is ephedra, which I think is like a poison, which would make sense because Ten of Swords is about death, right? So the Nine of Cups, there's a person here, very prominent, even more so than in the original kind of deck. Very head-on, wearing red, looking you straight in the face, kind of arms crossed, not in like a scared, angry way, but like a just confident way. And the Ten of Swords, usually this is a person with 10 swords in their back, but there's no person in this card. It's just the 10 swords. They're bloody, they're on the ground, but there's nobody there. So, it's like, okay, in the present moment, this person that you were dealing with is kind of in this Nine of Swords energy. That can be sleeplessness, that can be like anxiety, overthinking, like mental agony, needing to sleep really bad, but probably, yeah, just insomnia. And then we have Nine of Cups and Ten of Swords. So this is kind of like Nine of Cups, you are finding this high level of emotional fulfillment in the present moment by balancing your masculine and feminine sides and accepting the things you can't change and working on the things that you can change, and you're developing this strength, this life force, this blood. Squaw vine is about, I think, the female reproductive system, about blood. There's these red berries on it. This person's wearing a red shirt and a red hat. There is all the cups and the chalices full of blood, of life force. So you are really mastering your emotional intelligence and like, yeah, just your emotional fulfillment. You're filling up with this emotional fulfillment. And then Ten of Swords is also blood, but it's like there's no one here, and the tree's dead, and like they skipped out. It's like somebody got 10 swords in their back, and they're like, oh, well, this is over. I'm just gonna like try and sneak out the back door and see if anyone notices. So this person you were dealing with was in mental anguish about how things went down between you, and they went from the Nine of Swords to the Ten of Swords when they realized that you were in your space of emotional fulfillment. So maybe you had a job, an achievement, a relationship, like something happened in your life, or maybe they could just, see you through friends and family, through social media, or even if you like see each other in person here and there, they just like see the light in your eyes, the change in your energy, something like that. And that was a Ten of Swords for this person, knowing that you're happier without them, basically. That you thought that they were deep and brave and interesting, and that you were categorically wrong. Okay. Can I please get a clarification on this Five of Pentacles in reverse in the near future? Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. So right now it's like your blood is full of life and full of life force, and their blood is just blood. It's just evidence of, it's like a scar. And you have a lot of circulation, you have a lot of blood flowing, and because of that, your scars are healing, and this person's scars are not yet. In the near future, I have a clarification later. Lady's slipper. That's this pretty pink flower, Queen of Swords energy. She's barefoot. She's grounded on the earth. She's confident. She's standing on this rock, so she's got a little bit of an elevated perspective. And she's not taking any bullshit. She's wearing a blue dress. And so she's really standing up for truth. She has like an open flow of energy of communication. Like she's not afraid to tell people what she thinks and how it is, and just speak the truth, no matter how ugly or, challenging that could be. So in your recent past, you had fire, water, air. In your present, you have fire, water, air. In your near present, or in your near future, you have earth and air. Okay, so from that I get that in your recent past and in the present, you've got a lot of emotional themes going on. But in your near future, I see mental peace, like peace, clarity, truth, nervous system, calming, this blue, this resolution as this foolish person, not fool in the good way, as this foolish person, as this clown watches their dominoes fall and watches things turn out a way they did not expect. And you may speak on it, you may not, but one way or another, you are holding a firm line for truth. I've got 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, Wild Yam. So you are moving into stability and fulfillment. Split the deck on Peony, High Priestess. Just stay connected to your intuition and keep straddling those two worlds, those two aspects of yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. That's basically the message today. Keep doing what you're doing, and things are just gonna keep getting better. and this person's just gonna kind of like step on a rake and hit themselves in the face, and you don't have to do anything about it. And I'm sensing that you wouldn't want to, because this collective is very empathetic, compassionate, forgiving, but that was kind of to a fault in the recent past to some point, to a way where your sexual energy or your physical finances were dwindling and becoming degraded through this energy. And so you were saved by spirit, you were saved just by destiny, the way things played out. Didn't really require much of anything but you holding true to yourself. You win some, you sin some. You do your best, you put in your 100%. Sometimes that works out and you develop really powerful partnerships and relationships. And sometimes you put in 100% and they can't, they won't, they don't. And so you lose, you miss. And that's just how it is, and that's okay. If you're not willing to accept that, then you're gonna have a really hard time in this place. Lots of pentacles, lots and lots and lots of pentacles. Page of Cups, King of Cups. So you will have emotions in your future eventually, but it's just kind of like in comparison to the recent past. Things were so overly emotional that this amount of like peace just feels almost like boring to you, but you'll get used to it, and you're gonna focus on the bigger picture, and you're gonna focus on what you're doing and what you're creating. And what that is, I'm not 100% sure, but I have a feeling that your next reading is gonna really be digging into that. So that's exciting. Make peace with your past. Just put one foot in front of the other. Keep focusing on rest. And do I want to pull a biblical tarot deck card before I leave you here today? Yes, I do. I pulled some earlier, so there's some missing from the deck. They may be relevant to you. For today, I got Justice, the Soul, which is like the Fool, and Eight of Cups, which is the Ascension of Jesus. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, thank you for your guidance, thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your support, thank you for your insight. I barely shuffled that at all, that's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna bring these all the way up to the camera because it's very pretty. We have Judgment on the bottom of the deck here. And then we have the World. And the Star. The World, New Jerusalem, the Star, Star of Bethlehem. The World is 21, which is a 3. The Star is 17, which is an 8. That's the Empress. That's strength. Okay, so the World is about that Empress energy. Is about the new world that you're creating. Might be a new home. I sense that has something to do with it for a lot of you. A new community. Maybe you're moving to a new town or a new energetic zip code, if you know what I mean. Whatever it is, you're creating this New Jerusalem energy. You're creating a promised land with your own two hands, so that you can share your generosity and your love and your compassion and your wisdom and your value with other people, so you can be this unconditionally loving fountain, this Empress energy. The Star of Bethlehem. It's an 8-pointed star. It's the 3 Magi following the star. So I'm getting that the 3 Magi here are your Michael, Mary, and Freya energy, as like the mother, father, and child within you, following the guiding light of the divinity of the star of spirit. So you're creating something physical in the physical world, a new world, a new home, a new land. And in this space, the world, you're gonna fill it with this light, this love, this energy, this inspiration, the star. And you're gonna create your space of love. You win some and you sin some. But when you win, sometimes you come together into something that is greater than the sum of its parts. The star is also Aquarius energy.